First story. My narcissistic wife of 7 years used me to keep her sexuality secret and tried to babytrap me while cheating with her girlfriend. So I filed for divorce and took everything I owned. Now she wants to reconcile and have a baby because I survived 7 years without love. So why can't more? I have been married to my wife for 7 years, and we met 8 years ago in a church meeting, and we became friends. My wife is a quiet, kind, and beautiful woman, any man's dream. Therefore, it was obvious that I fell for her instantly, although she always behaved with what I thought was shyness, not wanting to cuddle with me or only kissing me on rare occasions. We both were raised in Christian families in a part of our country that is really religious. But unlike me, her parents were always the type who followed the holy doctrine really seriously. So she has a traditional way of thinking about religion and how women should behave. So I always thought that it was because of that her behavior is like that. Sometimes I think she looks like a robot. She's nice and kind with everyone. But a couple of times I saw her staying all quiet and staring into space like if she were dead. Over the years, I began to take it as something normal about her personality because she always refused to go to the psychologist and always said that she's just like that. Until 2 months ago, when she found out that the woman who was her best friend in high school was coming back to town. I never saw her so happy and alive. I felt happy for her, thinking that what she needed was a female friend. My wife never used to leave the house, but since that woman is staying in town, she has been going out as much as possible. She has become a different person, but not in a bad way, but she looks full of life, and to be honest, I never saw her smile as much as when she told me that she would go out with her friend for a coffee. For the record, I'm sure she's not sleeping with her because she doesn't know how to lie, and her behavior with me never changed. I'm not going to deny it. Days ago, I started to feel jealous of that woman. She is the reason why my wife smiles so much and is on her phone all day. Out of pure curiosity, 3 days ago I entered her Facebook, and some of her albums were public. She had a lot of albums, and I found pictures of her and my wife during high school. That woman was hugging my wife as if they were a couple. In some of the photos, they were holding hands or looking at each other with bright smiles, which is something she never does with me. Her family hates gay people, although my wife never talked ill about them, but just avoided talking about the topic, which now makes sense to me. I don't know whether to confront her because maybe I'm just thinking too much, or maybe she's in love with her ex-girlfriend. The only thing I'm sure of is that she only looks happy talking about that woman, so I don't know what to do. Edit. I'm sorry if I wrote something wrong. English is not my first language. Relevant comments. Yet again entry. Yes, she does love her friend, because she's her friend. All I saw in your post was a woman being excited that a close friend she hasn't seen in years is coming back, and that there was a picture of them hugging. I'm assuming all this paranoia is from your religious upbringing, because all I'm seeing is that 2 women are friends. If you should be asking anything, why didn't you see the clarity your wife was feeling before this friend came back into her life? OP. I referred to the way they held hands, especially because my wife and I never held hands. When we started dating, every time I tried, she told me to not hug her or hold her hands because she doesn't like romantic things. I always respected her boundaries about that, so I did get confused when I saw her in pictures like that with another person. We do have a healthy relationship in terms of feelings. When I notice she's off, we talk, although she never wanted to see a psychologist. She likes to talk about why she feels weird that day, but she always ends up saying that's her personality. We have always been close friends since we met, but it surprised me when I saw she actually likes being hugged by someone. Particular use 69/13. I think that's pretty odd. Surely, at some point, your paths would cross, even if you weren't wondering. Does your wife give an explanation as to why the friend wouldn't care to? I don't know many people who wouldn't want to meet their best friend's significant other. OP same. That's why I feel it's odd. My wife just says that her friend isn't interested in meeting me and closes the conversation. I feel that if I insist on asking the reason, we will end up arguing, and I always prefer to avoid that. I know her friend left the town to live in the capital, and sometimes people become elitist after living there. But that wouldn't make sense since I lived half my life in the capital, and while my family is religious, I was never the strict religious type, so I don't get why her friend doesn't want to meet me. Update. In the same post as the original. Thanks for the advice in my previous post. Although I got a few replies, everyone was very friendly. I decided to confront my wife and ask about the photos she took with her friend during high school. Everyone in the post said that they are most likely just friends, which made my mind feel more at peace, thinking that I was overthinking. But when I showed her the photos, she began to breathe fast and at peace, thinking that I was overthinking. But when I showed her the photos, she began to breathe fast in what I think was a panic attack. I helped her calm down, But then she got upset because I sneaked into her friend's Facebook. I knew she was trying to change the subject because she loves to do that, so I got serious and told her to talk. After a few long minutes full of her trying to change the topic, she ended up telling me everything. Indeed, she and her friend used to be a couple in high school and friends since kindergarten. They kept the relationship a secret, pretending to be only best friends, until my wife's parents found out and beat her up, separating them. Her friend moved to the capital that year, and they never saw each other again. But for what my wife said and showed, they never stopped loving each other. At some point in the conversation, my wife stopped calling her friend by name, and without realizing it, she started calling her my Amor, which hurt me because in all years of marriage, she never called me like that. I asked her if she was cheating on me with her friend, and she said that they never kissed or anything, but I'm sure she's emotionally cheating me. She doesn't know what that concept is, so she really believes she's not doing anything wrong. The reason why her friend never wanted to meet me, or even go to our wedding, is because she hates to see her love married to a man she doesn't even like and living a lie. I asked my wife if she loved me, and she said yes, but like a best friend, yes, my own wife just friends on me. She cried a lot, saying that she's really sorry for lying to me. When we met, we really clicked as friends, and she told me that her parents insisted she marry me so she could heal, which explained why she never liked to hug, cuddle, or do anything romantic with me. It wasn't because she was shy, but because she didn't like me. I wanted to lose my temper and yell at her. I wanted to cry and even run away because I was patient and empathetic with all the times she rejected my affection, and I felt alone. I've even been thinking for years that maybe I'm a bad husband, and I was treating her badly without realizing it, feeling insecure about my own personality. But she assured me that I was never the problem. I didn't cry or yell. I just left the house and came to my sister's house. We didn't talk about divorce or anything like that. I even think my wife doesn't see any problem with what she did with her friend. But I'm sure that I don't want to spend all my life in a loveless marriage with a woman who will never love me back. I'm sorry for the long post. I'm just venting at this point, but I feel like I wasted all my youth. I didn't expect to update so fast, but I needed to talk about that. It's not like I don't feel bad for her. I do, but now I feel even worse for myself. I had to delete the first update because I had to edit some things. Relevant comments. Alpinage. Has she tried contacting you since you left? OP. No, not at all. But at least for today, I don't want to talk with her either. King Thunderflash. You need to divorce her and go completely NC. You deserve so much better than that toxic woman who has lied to your face for years. I'm sorry, OP. OP. I'm sure that I will divorce her, although I still didn't tell her that because I wanted time alone. I feel empathy for her and always saw her as a kind woman, but the fact that she used me totally changed my perception of her. Thanks for your words. Final update. Recovered with the Wayback Machine. Maybe nobody remembers my 2 first posts, but I wanted to at least post a final update because I'm really thankful for all the kind comments and advice I received. They're helping me a lot. I came back to my house the day after my last update, and my ex-wife was there, laying on the couch. The first thing I said when I entered was, "We're going to divorce." Maybe that wasn't the best way of saying it, but she has the habit of changing the topic when I want to talk about serious things, so I didn't want her to do that this time. She clearly didn't expect that, and started to cry and have an anxiety attack, saying that we can't divorce, and that I can't do that to us. But what hit me harder was, there's no point in us breaking up. The fact that I don't love you doesn't change anything, which is true. I realized that our relationship was always like that, with her treating me just like a friend and me accepting that kind of trait. She said that she never cheated or anything like that, even if I explained again what's meant by emotional cheating. I told her that she's not even attracted to men, so there's no sense in staying married because we're just not for each other. And I asked her if she still loved that best friend, and she didn't deny it, but kept insisting that we shouldn't divorce. I can understand why she was so despondent, but it made me feel used, like if I were her pathetic beard, whom she can always use as a shield for herself, or a dog who will always be happy with the smallest token of affection. I don't need her signature anyway to get a divorce, so even if she doesn't want to, we're 100% going to break up. I told her I'm not going to take her out of the closet, but if anyone asks, I'll just say the truth, avoiding the xuality topic, because I don't want people gossiping and assuming things that didn't happen. The land and basically all the things in the house are mine, and maybe I'm an arsehole for this, but I told her that I would not give her anything because it's all mine and I inherited the land from my grandfather. At this point, she just looked sad and defeated, so she didn't complain or anything, though I will get advice from a lawyer to be sure. I told her that she can stay until December in the house, and she answered that she will probably have to come back to live with her parents, which actually made me feel bad because my ex-in-laws are not good people. But for what she said, she's still talking with her best friend, so luckily she's not alone. The conversation finished awkward with me just leaving. For now, I'm staying at my sister's house. I can have time for myself since she and my other sisters are out of the province for a concert. I didn't talk with my ex-wife after that day, and she didn't try to contact me. But I know that she told my ex-in-laws about the divorce because they wanted to contact me to ask why we're divorcing. But I just answered. These are things that need to be resolved only between her and me. So this will probably be my last update because I will go to NC with my ex-wife after the divorce. We don't have children. Sometimes she started talking about having a baby. And now I feel really relieved of always saying that I didn't feel ready. Maybe something in me was already telling me that she wasn't for me. So we don't have anything that ties us together. I have been going to the psychologist since I was a child. So I think that has helped me a lot to channel my emotions. Many in the comments said that I shouldn't have empathy or things like that for her. But we're both broken people who suffer from religious trauma. And I know how bad that mess is to people's minds and hearts. Some people in the comments were confused about why I stayed with her when she clearly didn't love me romantically. But I don't know. Maybe I always justified her actions because somehow I felt identified with her. Maybe I have a hero complex. Or maybe my sense of duty is so strong that I felt internally tied up with her and responsible for making her happy as her husband, even if she always rejected my romantic love. I don't know. That's something I will talk about and work on with my psychologist. Also, I received questions like why I married her. In the first place, she was the one who said, we should marry. I was inexperienced and young at the time, and because we got along well, I thought it was a good idea. For now, I just want a divorce and then spend time with my family. In general, I feel numb and weird. I haven't cried yet, and in the session yesterday, my psychologist told me that he thinks I already grieved the relationship a long time ago, even if I didn't realize it. I don't feel like I lost a wife, but like I lost a close and good friend and company, not a heartbreak pain, but a betrayal pain. Anyway, I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Maybe I'm being a bad person for abandoning her, knowing the type of life she had. But I can't save a person who doesn't want to be saved, and I'm tired of trying. For now, I will just say goodbye, maybe not to a woman I saw as the love of my life, but to a woman who helped me and was a good friend for years. I'm really thankful for the kind comments people left, even some mean ones, which make me think that maybe I'm too quiet with how I reacted. Is that something wrong? I was never the temperamental type. I'm sorry if the update is a boring one and not about me starting my villain era, but that's not my style. Thanks everyone. Update. Hello. It's been a while since I posted, and sadly, the moderators deleted the 2 times I tried to post a final update. I don't know if someone is going to read this, but my sister, she knows about the Reddit posts, showed me that someone posted the story on TikTok. Sadly, I read the comments, and beside the account changing a lot of things, I also read all kinds of comments assuming things about me that are fake. I want to clarify some things. 1. I never married her because I wanted a submissive woman. We were both like best friends. I don't know why I read comments saying that I wanted a housewife when I didn't. Many times I offered her to work with me, but she never wanted to look for a job or study something, so I didn't insist because we were doing well financially. 2. I wasn't going to open the relationship for her. Luckily, I realized I deserved so much better, and to be honest, I already gave up too many things for her to give up, including my life. Maybe some people are okay with having a loveless marriage, but not me anymore. 3. I read a lot of comments saying, he should help her. He should be generous with the divorce. But how do you help a person who doesn't want to be helped? I tried for years to help her, and now all I do is keep hearing about horrible things she did behind my back that I don't really want to talk about. 4. She used you because she was afraid of coming out. I understand that, I do, but I deserve that. I deserve to be used. I deserve for her to even use my money to buy things for her best friend. I don't think so. We live in an open country. Even one of my sisters is lesbian and married, and I know I would have helped my soon-to-be ex-wife in the past if she confessed that to me. 5. We married, but she had countless opportunities to tell me the truth. She never cared to see me feel insecure about her. Instead, she kept insisting that we should have a baby. Now I realized that she wanted to make sure that if we divorced, she would get something since she never worked or studied. 6. I found out her best friend have a wife and a baby, so no, my ex-wife is not with her, and the situation became even more messed up. But honestly, I don't want to get into that. My ex keeps insisting that she never cheated on me with her physically, so I think I believe her in that, at least. 7. I also suffer from religious trauma, and a trauma doesn't make you a bad person. That's something that's inside. 8. Nobody forced her into marriage. In my country, nobody does that. I asked her why she wanted to marry, and she said that her parents told her that she needed to heal, and she said I was a good man for her. That's why she used to insist a lot on getting married. So if anyone wants to know how everything ended, I'm getting divorced. But it's a tedious and lengthy process. I'm keeping the house, the car, everything. Am I selfish? Maybe, but I wanted to think of myself once in a lifetime. Working for those things is hard, and I dedicated my life to building my house. My ex-wife is currently living with her brother. She never asked me how I was, nor when I left the house after finding out the truth. But I did check if she was fine, sending messages the first few days asking how she was feeling. I suffered a mental breakdown a few days ago because she keeps sending me texts saying that we should come back together. We should have a child. I never wanted to have a baby with her, and she insisted a lot of times on that. And that it doesn't matter that she doesn't love me. She never loved me, and we lived well, so I should go on with the marriage for her. It makes me realize she's only trying to make me feel guilty. So that just made me understand that for her, I'm not even a human. Maybe I'm not even a dog in her eyes, so I just blocked her number. I understand she's anxious because she doesn't have anything. But it's not like I've never told her to finish a career, so to be honest, I just give up on her. I'm too tired of this situation. I don't really know what she's going to do with her life, but I don't care anymore. My psychologist made me realize all the narcissistic traits she has. I want to move on with my life because I deserve it, and because I'm tired of being used. So yeah, I don't know if someone is going to read this, but I want to leave this post here because, sadly, people like to distort the story. Second story. Entitled parents prepared OP's half-sister to sacrifice her life because her abusive golden child sister's life is more important and has a brighter future than hers. Unlike most insane titles on this sub, this one isn't hyperbolic, unfortunately. I22F have little identical twin half-sisters 16 who both have serious kidney issues. They have both sadly reached a point where, without a kidney transplant, their quality of life will continue to decline, and they might not see the other side of 20. Obviously, myself and my mom are devastated by this news. It wasn't expected that they would be in this position so young. For some background, one of my sisters, Sarah, is very much a tomboy like me. We are really close and enjoy a lot of the same things. We are like two peas in a pod. That's not to say I don't love my other sister, Jade, but we simply aren't as close. She's a little more girly and doesn't have as many shared interests as me and Sarah do, so we just don't hang out as often. I also don't see Jade as much in general. Sarah doesn't like her dad's wife, and so she spends less time with them, while Jade adores her and has always spent more time at her dad's place. Both my mom, their dad, and both of the girls were totally happy with this setup. Jade also begged to go to a particular boarding school, so I don't see her nearly as much as Sarah, nor have I for a very long time. Maybe one weekend a month for the last couple years, and some more over the summer or holidays. I still love her dearly, but I hope it's understandable now that I'm just much, much closer with Sarah. We were equally close until Jade started doing her own thing and making choices for herself, and I don't in any way begrudge that. I wouldn't say B and Jade don't get along, but there have definitely been some big spats over the years. We all got tested to see if it would be possible to do live donations, and I'm the only match. Unfortunately, I obviously only have 2 kidneys. I can only save one of my sisters. There's every chance they might get a kidney from somewhere else, but right now they aren't a priority and aren't high on the transplant list. I basically told my mom, who told their dad, that I wanted to donate my kidney to Sarah. I thought about it so much. I know this means I am undeniably saying, I love Sarah more than Jade, and I guess I do. Unsurprisingly, all hell broke loose about how I could do this to Jade, how I could be so cruel, why I would do this, and how I could just play with their lives. I've been getting calls and texts from everyone who knows about this. A fake, neither Sarah nor Jade have been told. I get it. I'm playing God here. But it's my kidney. Yeah, I feel like scum for choosing one sister over the other. But one is my best friend, and the other is, well, not. I feel like a monster for saying it, and I know on a fundamental level that it's wrong. Part of me wanted to flip a coin or something, but I couldn't. My whole family seems to be demonizing me for making this choice. Sorry if it's confusing. The character count cut me off. Edit for some repeated questions. Currently, their doctors can't tell who will deteriorate faster. They are currently at similar stages, and their most recent results have given no insight into whether or not Sarah or Jane will be worse off. Only time will tell, but their current treatments are harsh on their other organs, so there is an element of urgency that makes us reluctant to just wait to see who gets sicker faster. If it came down to Jade needing a kidney next week and Sarah not needing one until next year, I would obviously donate to Jade and hold out hope Sarah will get another donor. I have suggested setting up a donor chain for my mom. But this has all happened recently, so it's still up in the air. I have only been confirmed as a match, and since I haven't passed through all of the other checkpoints and testing, there's a very real chance I can't donate at all in the end, which is why I only told my mom and not my sisters about how I felt. To be explicitly clear, this question comes up a lot. I don't think either deserves to die. Their parents are undeniably advocating for me to choose Jade, who has, and I quote, such a bright future, but they just haven't said it explicitly. I'm not choosing Sarah because she deserves it. I'm choosing Sarah because I want to save her life. Jade has always been, shall we say, unkind to a lot of people, and her dad has always acted like that. If I could save both, I would. If I can only save one, and the doctors have no explicit results to say one needs it urgently, I would choose to save the one I love, not just the one I share blood with. I personally think I'm an arsehole. I think that if you look past the kudos for trying to donate a kidney, I think I'm doing something wrong. It just isn't enough to make me change how I feel, and I was hoping to get an impartial insight here, as I obviously can't get one from my family. Update. To cut a long story short, they both got kidneys. They each got one from the same donor. Our family got to meet the family of the donor, and it was really emotional and amazing, and they're both recovering well. However, before that, a lot of stuff went down that I wanted to update you on. There are now understandably massive divides in the family because of how my mom and the girl's dad outright demanded I give my kidney to Jade because she was the golden child with a bright future, while Sarah was just, effectively, mediocre. I feel less bad now saying this because she's on the road to recovery. But Jade is, or was, a flaming arsehole who made Sarah's life hell. I presumed Sarah chose to spend most of her time with Mom because we were so close, but it was mostly because of how Jade treated her like dirt, and their dad and stepmother thought it was basically Jade's right as the superior being or some bullshit. I ended up not being allowed to donate. But before this, as many suggested, I spoke to my sisters about my decision. Sarah broke down in tears because it was the first time she ever felt somebody put her first. She told me stories of the things that Jade did with their dad's approval, and I was livid. She said if she was my choice, she wouldn't feel guilty, knowing it might mean Jade wouldn't get a kidney. I made it clear that I chose her because she is good and amazing, and I loved her, not because Jade was a horrible person. I then spoke to Jade and calmly explained that I had to pick. And well, as she knew, we weren't very close, and Sarah was a kindred spirit that I was always with. I wasn't surprised that she was mad. I mean, how else would you react? But I didn't expect her to spew such hate that I'm wasting my kidney. And I'm probably an arsehole for it. But I didn't care that she was sick. I effectively said that if she hadn't been such a nasty bee her whole life, maybe she wouldn't be dealing with this. And it's a shame that she might have only learned on what may be her deathbed that she won't always be everyone's favorite, and she can't treat her own sister like dirt. I've never simultaneously felt so happy and so guilty for getting something off my chest. Due to character count, I can't explain the SHT she did, but it's horrific. In any case, about 2 weeks after that, Jade asked me to come visit her and said she'd thought about what I said. I apologized and explained that I knew about everything she had done, as well as the fact that Sarah had already resigned herself to death because she knew the whole family would put Jade first. After many tears, things seem to be okay now. She's slowly mending bridges with Sarah. Sarah will be moving in with me soon, so she can finally have a home where she comes first. Jade said she'd like to visit sometime too. So yeah, all wrapped up. Edit. So apparently I can exceed the count after the post is up. First, I'm definitely skeptical of Jade's sudden change of heart. I totally respect situations like these that can have profound effects on people. But I can't fathom being that horrific to anybody and suddenly being a whole different person when you get caught. I will support her in good faith, but I will do my best to keep my eyes wide open for anything suspicious that makes me think she isn't being sincere. Obviously, a lot of people are asking about the things Jade did, and I can't share all of them because of the rules. But when they were still in the same school, things were particularly bad. But the pattern continued when they were at home together. I don't want to talk about everything in detail, but it would be things like taking Sarah's food and calling her fat. Sarah is absolutely not fat. As in, she'd grab Sarah's dinner and throw it in the bin, then proceed to eat her own food. She'd sometimes do this in school as well, so other people started calling her fat. They shared a bedroom, and Jade used to try to deprive Sarah of sleep. Jade would wear earplugs and set alarms randomly. Anytime Jade woke up, she'd just go over and shake Sarah awake, then go back to sleep herself. She'd wait until just before school to go to Sarah's bag and rip up her homework or assignments. Sarah said she mostly stopped doing homework the night before, and just did it in between periods where Jade couldn't do it anymore. Some other things would include hiding the tampons and pads at their dad's house. They weren't supposed to go into the master bedroom, and Sarah would be screamed at for stealing their stepmom's tampons. Edit 2. I felt I needed to make this edit to make it clear that kidney failure in general is not a massive death sentence. As I have learned a lot since my original post, there are amazing treatments that can let people suffering from kidney problems have a decent quality of life. And I don't want to misconstrue the reality of having kidney problems before I terrify anybody reading this story. My on your deathbed remark was, to call it what it is, very over the top and a result of strong emotions, and I did apologize for being so needlessly dramatic to Jade. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.